Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Lebanon Valley College Vale Music Conference podcast series presented by Vale Music Group. I'm here with Eric Jacobs, who's an alumnus of Lebanon Valley College, who now works as the assistant editor at Flickr Filmworks Film and Video Production. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so we're here with him today. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
So, what exactly do you do at Flickr Filmworks?
So I'm an assistant editor there, which the bulk of my job is consisted of making sure that all of the content it has their ducks in a row for the editor to work with quickly, because time schedule is pretty quick. So, and the amount of content that's shot for these unscripted reality television series is upwards of 40 hours and extending all the way up to 80 hours for one episode. That's sometimes 20 minutes and sometimes 40 minutes. So, and then the edit schedule for a 20-minute show typically is 4 to 5 weeks, which is insanely quick considering that the editor has to watch all of that footage. And then typically like 7 weeks for a 40-minute show. So the only way that they can filter through all of that stuff is with an assistant.
So, do you work with audio or video or a combination of the two?
I do a combination of the two because of what I did here at LVC and studying audio.
So, you said that you do mainly unscripted reality TV shows. Mm-hmm. Okay, where is that based out of again?
We as a facility are based in New Paltz, New York, which is 90 miles north of New York City. However, all of our work comes out of New York City.
Okay.
So, and for the most part, most reality television is based in New York City.
So, as an assistant editor, you do film and video. When you were here at Lebanon Valley College, were you only a music recording technology major?
I also, in addition to the music recording technology, I declared a second degree in music and sacred music, which, like, knowing some of that content, especially when we have shows in, like, Paris was one, and sometimes Philly, it was good to have some of the audio background and some of the historic stuff that helps the editor sometimes.
So, and with the video, we don't really have a video part of the MRT program here. What prepared you for that part of your job?
Between my sophomore and junior year, I interned at a different studio that was a little smaller, and I pretty much just said okay to whatever they wanted me to learn. And then when I interned with the company that I'm working with now, they let me still work with video, and like I just learned and learned and learned, and then when I came back for my senior year, I missed working with video. I missed working with having that visual aspect even to the audio, because I think it changes things. I think it's a different way of being creative, and I think it's you become a storyteller, so as opposed to just a musician, which just a musician is perfectly fine, but some people like telling stories. I found that I love that, and there are great musicians out there that are telling stories with their music.
So, working with the video, how valuable do you think it is for all audio people to know at least a little something about video?
Extremely valuable, because in my experience, a lot of these websites are turning towards putting video up on their website and having it be one of the first things that they see. That whenever someone goes to their website, the video is like one of the first things you see. You think of like a couple of major organizations that are out there, and you see video just splattered all across their web pages. And yeah, music's a part of that, but a lot of times, people buy pre-made music that are royalty free, and then they don't contact a composer. So if you know video, you expand your toolkit. And then another thing that I've been doing with video is you can start making video for bands. And bands find that extremely valuable. It shows them performing. And if they have good video and good audio, then that's a great marketing tool.
So, going into your internships that you talked about, did you have any video experience at all?
Very little.
Okay. So, when you are working with the video there, did they teach you most of it mainly, or was it just you got to do it so you just learn by yourself?
They taught me quite a bit. Like, they helped me move along the way and trickle my feet in to get into deeper stuff. But a lot of the troubleshooting and the technical stuff I actually like learned on my own. The forums are a great resource that are out there. The Avid community is awesome. Super, super knowledgeable people, and you'll get people on the Avid community that are willing to help you out for free and offer advice, and they've been working in the industry for 30, 40, sometimes even 50 years. So, and you can't turn away that experience.
Right. So, when you entered the company that you were with now, have you only been the assistant editor for this whole time?
Yeah, but it's constantly progressing. That's been my official title, but I do help out with productions. I do a lot of production assistant. I do some camera operating. I have done mixing as well for some of our own productions that we produce. So I'm wearing many hats. We're a small company, and being like the multi-tool in the kit is really, really useful in these small companies. And nowadays, like, that's starting to be the norm. More and more people are starting to move out of the city and becoming a remote facility like we are. And you don't need a staff of 50 people to keep things running. You just need one or two.
Have you seen your position change technologically with like the tools that you yourself use over your years?
At the fundamental level, no. And that's one thing that I think LVC's program is really excels in, because they drill in the fundamentals. Because as things change, they're based on the fundamentals. They want people to still be able to step into the new software. And as far as like advanced features that aren't fundamentals, yeah, it's changed a lot. Things have been geared towards going quicker, some things cheaper, and time affects cost when it comes like payroll and all that stuff. And then like they come out with different tools that do different, like you can perform an extend edit as opposed to mark in, mark out, extract, and then clean it up a little. Like you can just do 2 buttons instead of all that. And then and that's just like one of the things, and that's a relatively older thing. Ingesting things in the background is huge. Being able to ingest video and still work is huge. So as opposed to just letting the machine do its thing and you can't do anything.
So what would you say are your fundamental tools that you use, like different programs and things like
So, some of the fundamentals, like with audio, like the physics of audio will never change. The art of like mic placement, that you do have to make some compromises with things, because things look a little different on camera, and sometimes the person isn't wearing the right kind of clothing to put the lav on under their clothing. So you have to make compromises there, but when you compromise, you still apply like what you know about decent miking technique. And then for video, it's like you have the fundamentals of like what kind of framing is good, like the rule of thirds, which is like an essential tool if you're doing any kind of camera operating. Lighting is a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. It's one of the areas where, like, beyond a camera operator, that someone on set can be really, really creative. And sound like you're creative in the post-production process. Lighting, you're creative there, like with the kind of gels that you're using, the kind of diffusion that you're using, and making the things look the way they do on camera is very intentional. Especially if you have a good DP.
So, you were the assistant editor.
Yes.
Okay, what are the differences between your position and the position of the editor?
So the editor, especially like unscripted content, the editor ultimately is sort of like the final storyteller. So beyond like what I said that I do for organizing footage so that the editor can work with that, with the footage, I'll be responsible sometimes for doing what we call cut downs, where I'll watch a 2 hour scene, and I'll be responsible for getting all of the junk, as we call, basically like all the camera resets, all of like the producer talking, all that kind of stuff. Take that out so that hopefully that hour scene can be a 30-minute scene, and that saves time for the editor, and they don't have to watch that themselves, and it speeds up the editing process. Doing some, and then the editor really gets to be the one that's creative, and my job is almost to keep them in that creative moment and not worrying about the technical stuff, like, oh, the Avid crashed, what went wrong, that sort of falls into my jurisdiction. Organizing the media, that falls into my jurisdiction. That way they can spend the most time really being in that zone, and to get things looking as good as they do.
So do you work at all with the creative aspect of the editing?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If there's, first and foremost, my technical duties come first, and then if I'm on top of things with my technical duties and the opportunity presents itself, I'm given a creative task. And then I use that opportunity to learn, and my bosses teach me on how to improve things.
So have you ever had to balance kind of the content with the technical aspect? Like, oh, this camera angle is really bad, but that's an awesome scene, and kind of like do that back and forth?
Yeah, I mean, typically we try to make it so if we want to use the content that looks the best, and the content that sounds the best, but if like some content is absolutely necessary, yeah, we do make compromises.
Okay. So a final question: what is your opinion on the current state of the music industry?
It's changing, and the internet's changing it quite a bit. Like I said, we're 90 miles north of New York City. Yet we work with New York City every single day. The people my clients, they're all in New York City, and we communicate to them within minutes. And 10 years ago, that wasn't possible. Even 7 years ago, that wasn't possible. Nowadays, if here at the Valley, if they were to send me some footage on a drive, I could work at home in upstate New York, and then I can communicate easily on a daily basis with people here in central Pennsylvania. And that is huge. And more companies are switching to, they want video. They want to deliver content to their viewers quickly. So, I mean, if you go to New York Times and you see that they have a 2-minute video or a 5-page article, that basically just explains what was in that 2-minute video, what are you going to do?
I got nothing.
Most people would watch the video rather than
okay.
Are you gonna watch the video, or
Right.
are you gonna read?
Okay,
Are you gonna read a
sense.
5-page article? So if they have a lot, they can deliver a lot more content through video, and it's not necessarily music, but it's still part of the entertainment industry as a whole, and that's changing things. And the other thing that's kind of scary for the professional world is now, like, if you buy a MacBook or an iMac, it comes with iMovie, and people start thinking, oh, I can do video editing on my own, and it comes with GarageBand, and they think, oh, I can do audio recording on my own. And you as a student for recording understand the value into someone that knows what they're doing. And like, some people aren't thinking because they see the production costs and they're like, oh my God, well, I can just do it myself. And then after countless hours, they realize that they should have gone with that route. So that's a new battle that I think we're all facing.
All right. Well, I think we're just about out of time. So thank you, Eric Jacobs, for your time today. And for you folks at home, as always, thanks for listening.